Are you rolling that beautiful bean footage?
I am rolling it. Are you ready? After you just sit down.
Of course.
What kind of wife would I be if I didn't wait until you just sit down to ask you to do something?
That's right, let's do it.
June, are you coming with us?
Before I get comfortable.
Yes.
You're coming with me and Dad? You need help?
You
You having issues with your overalls? Here.
Ah. Why you like that?
There we go.
Thank you.
You're
Your hand is showing me that fire. Don't stop fire.
Wow, it is like what, 6 o'clock at night and it's still like 93 degrees.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's so hot.
It's just humid.
Yeah,
Heat's not that bad.
it's the humidity. All right,
You can be dirty.
you guys see this beautifulness behind me?
You talking to me?
Aside from my handsome hubby.
Gosh.
Look at this, you guys. Although it is planted right
Right in front of the garden.
right in front of the garden, we have one of our last photo shoots for the book tomorrow.
Hey, you walk.
And although I gave explicit instructions,
Mama, hey, you walk.
thank you to not park it in front of the entrance. Here we are. What do they say? It lands where it lands or something like that?
Lands where it lands.
Um,
In their defense, that's as far back as he could go. It's just a big load.
It is a big load. So I wanted Nathan and I to talk about this and then show you guys. This is one of 3 loads we got dumped on our property today.
Yes. And 3 of 5 loads.
And 3 of 5 loads. So I just think it's so funny how, gosh, what was it? Just a couple weeks ago, I was feeling just super discouraged about the cottage garden and feeling really just like overwhelmed by the amount of stuff in there and how quickly it gets away from you. I think that's what was so like overwhelming to me, is how quickly the weeds grow. And I mean, this isn't just like normal weeds, okay? This
We got super weeds.
we have weeds that are like, oh, I can't even really say what
We
I'm
just
thinking.
live in a hot, humid climate, and so grass and weeds thrive. They come out early.
But it's like the nut's edge that you have to like dig down to the very bottom of like the ground.
That comes in compost and super soil, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a
And
nightmare.
it multiplies like crazy.
Like crazy. So, but I do think it's funny that I was just doing a video about how like, oh my gosh, this space is never gonna come together. Meanwhile, this old man had rock ordered that I didn't know about and tells me over the weekend that it was getting delivered so we can do the walkways for the cottage garden, the raised bed, and down by the tunnels.
I got you, girl.
You got me.
Mama was stressed, so we try and take care of it.
So I want to talk to you guys about this. Oh, you can't get up there. You'll just sink.
Yeah, you can't get up there.
Yeah, sorry.
Come hold my hand.
But I'm gonna knock it down.
Yeah, that's why you can't climb it. You'll just fall. So behind us we have, it's essentially like,
It's crushed concrete, Donafill. There's so many different names for it, but it's real fine powder.
mm-hmm.
When you put it out, you water over the top of it, kind of pack it in, and it almost sets up like concrete.
Yeah. So the plan is, which I do want to take you guys into the cottage garden, which I guess we could do this and kind of talk. That way you're not just seeing our faces, even though we have lovely faces. That way we can show you guys some action. I wanted to show them what we were doing. So in the cottage garden, we will just have this a couple inches deep. Is that correct?
So we're gonna put that rock down first.
Even in the cottage garden? He told me we didn't have to in the cottage
Yeah,
garden.
maybe not the cottage garden.
So let's walk them in the cottage garden, show them. But first of all, we gotta give like some mad respect. This is the David Austin roses. This is the Tangerine Sky. I believe this is like the 3rd year. If anyone knows that, I'm sure you could correct me if I'm wrong. But man, roses have never been just my thing. I think this is the most beautiful rose I've ever seen.
And I've got big paws and they're the size of my hand.
Paws. They're stunning, absolutely stunning. Thanks, Junie. You a good helper.
We got our video assistant with us today.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, we'll show them the cottage garden. What do you want to show them? Yeah? Okay. Oh, that's a big rock. So, over the weekend, we had Joel. He does some handyman work for us, some farm work. He did a lot of stuff on our old farm, and he actually works for Nathan's dad. And when his dad doesn't have any work for him, he'll call us up. And so that happened to be what happened. He called me last week and was like, hey, I really need some work. Do you have anything I can do? And I said, I sure do. So he came and he burned everything in the cottage garden. So the walkways. So we have all of our keyholes. He got most of this. There's still something, like we got a lot of irises over there, so I didn't want him to start any of that. But now we can lay landscape fabric, which Nathan and I started to do yesterday. So we got the landscape fabric. We're planting some things. We will lay landscape fabric through the walkways and then layer that rock.
Yes, ma'am.
A couple inches deep.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully that will take care of the weeds in here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have some grass grow, but we'll be able to just burn it, you know, and keep it controlled that way.
Yeah,
so.
Look at this yarrow. I have been waiting for the cottage garden to get clean so I could plant out the rest of it. But this was actually Jess's yarrow from I don't even know how many years ago. But look, it's starting to put on a bud there. And we got some onions. This is a really pretty plant. There's some of this in the tunnel too. And then the roses. So that's something that Joel's going to come back out and we'll finish laying all the landscape fabric so that we can get the rock.
Start wheelbarrow and rock in here.
I know. So kind of the crummy thing about the cottage garden in particular is that we are going to have to we're gonna have to do this one wheelbarrow load at a time. So we're gonna have a lot of sweat equity into this. So part of the reason that we have chose the rock options that we've chose is because much like everything else, there's probably not a single person watching this video who would not agree that like the prices on everything have skyrocketed, and it really doesn't matter what it is. Like across the board there has been a rise and an increase in prices. And so, you know, Nathan and I were talking about rocking this when we moved in August, and the prices, I mean, what it would cost me to rock this was just like dagger.
We should have done it then though,
because it's probably gone up even more.
It's gone up,
yeah. And so when the guy came out to dump the first load today, he literally stuck his hand on my shoulder and he goes, baby, you can't afford to put no pea gravel in here. I said, yes, sir. So he told me what he thought would be the best option and also the most affordable option. And so that I would love this beautiful pea gravel or some sort of aesthetic rock, but I'm not spending thousands of dollars. But because we do have such drainage issues, we have like this whole area is groundwater. When I tell you, you can't even walk into it. Like right now, Nathan can walk down the middle and he's ankle deep sunk. You know, I mean, with the kids out here, it's just really not enjoyable at all. And so we've really just been trying to find a solution for that. So I want to show you guys what we plan on doing, kind of talk through that. It feels so good to have the rock here. This was something that I was not expecting to be done for a while. Like I think I have put it, I'd kind of pushed it out of my mind that it would even be done this season.
Here's the deal.
Oh, later.
We did this for Mama, but this is really for me too, because I refuse to weed eat this every week. Yeah. I refuse to weed eat it.
Well, and the thing is too, because it does retain water so bad, this is what Nathan was saying the other day, is it won't even, it just lays it down. Like it's a pain in the butt to even weed eat.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely benefits both of us. It gives me that aesthetic. It takes away a chore from him.
A long chore.
Yeah. Well, I can think of plenty of chores that would benefit both of us. We could invest in.
I'm ready to start working on my things. So the more I get off your plate, I can start working on my thing.
What things are you working on?
Oh, babe.
Oh, babe.
I got all kinds.
The brew room.
No. Organization is.
Organization.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
The office is really bothering Nathan. We got to figure out the office. Okay, we're gonna go down here. Are you gonna come with us?
Yeah.
Well, come on. I did get the big original green stalk planted. So this was the one I wanted to plant the vegetables in. Got that done. That felt good. We got peppers, tomatoes, some spinach, trying some kohlrabi. And then over here, this is Charlie, is that Doug? Our neighbor Doug, he's amazing. He's bringing his tractor because down here we actually can move some with the tractor. But then I have Charlie's little arrangement right here. So she's got everything she needs to make a bouquet of flowers. So it's zinnia, celosia, and basil. So a focal, a filler, and I just think that's really sweet. She was super excited about that. We seriously have the best neighbors.
Yes, we do.
So our lawnmower also broke. And while it's in the shop, they're coming to help us mow the yard. So super sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. All right, so here we have another ginormous pile. So the plan with this is thicker, as you guys can see. Lily, hush. So this is more expensive, but it is a thicker rock. So the plan in the raised bed garden is to burn it, weed eat it, all the walkways, lay down landscape fabric, then put a layer of this to act kind of as like a French drain, to my understanding, and then lay that fine shell on top of it.
Good job, babe.
I was listening. I had like a 45-minute conversation with the dump truck driver today, and he was just a peach, really. Like, he was so sweet, and we just had a little chit chat about it. And so then, because I still,
Thank you, Richie.
Aesthetics still are like, you know, mean a lot to me. We can do flagstone just like in the walkway. So in the gated walkway, and then create a walkway to the pavilion, and then create a walkway to the cottage garden, and that will be way less expensive. I could probably even find some on sale, or maybe some that were like broken that I could
There's
make
nothing
work.
on sale these days, but yeah.
Well, that's true, but still, it'll be a lot cheaper to add that decorative flagstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got that, and then we have another one, which will be our last stop. We'll go down there. So I do want to, just because we are super transparent with you guys, I do want to let you know what the cost of this was for us. This is something that, even though I didn't realize we were doing now, we have accounted and budgeted for. You guys know, just based off of my last video, although I'm not very organized in the house when it comes to farm chores and farm expenses and everything like that, I'm pretty organized. I either have a notebook or an Excel spreadsheet, and so this was budgeted as a expense that needed to happen, along with a shed, which we are still trying to figure out the best option for that. So we did kind of have this in the budget, in the reserves. It was just sourcing it out was really the issue. So what were the specs on this as far as costs?
I mean, we tried to get this the last couple of weeks, but we've had so much rain. And this is not something you want to buy when it's wet, because you're buying water. You know? So that's the reason it's taken so long to get. But what was your question?
Y'all, he don't listen to me.
I listened, but I was talking.
The question was, how much did this cost?
Okay, so the two loads of the finer stuff was $700.
Okay, and that was a dump truck. How big was this dump truck?
Biggest one they make. I don't know.
It was
I don't know how many.
Biggest one they make.
He's got a big truck. So, and the reason being, you know, the actual cost of the material is not so much. It's the dump truck fee.
Yeah.
Because of diesel fuel, and because of how far we live. You know, I mean, it was 45 minutes to the nearest place to get this kind of rock.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And then how much was the bigger rock?
It was $450 a load.
$450 a load. So for a couple $1,000s, we will have rocked the entire raised bed cottage garden, and in between and around the high tunnels and the greenhouses.
Plus my hourly wage, wheelbarrowing all this in here,
I don't know if I can, I mean, I can sweeten the pot to get your rate down.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that I can afford your rate for wheelbarrowing. I do have a couple college or high school kids who have asked if they could work for us 1 day a week, so that might be one of those jobs I put just during the summer, which would be very helpful. That would be about when we would need them. It's mainly just in the summertime. So that might be something that I asked them to come and help us do. Nathan did have to move my green stock. He got me a little bistro table put together this weekend. We had to move all of that because you can see here is our last load. So we went ahead and had the landscape fabric laid this weekend, and the idea is to take Doug's tractor and just you're gonna go all the way around?
Yeah, so anywhere the black plastic is, we're just gonna fill that in, just to keep down stinking weed eating. So
yeah,
the less I have to weed eat, the better.
Yeah, and
we'll be able to make like clean lines, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna build a retaining wall here, fill that in.
Yeah, so that's why we have the blocks there. That was Nathan's plan. And then it will be nice too, because we'll be able to put all of our green stock and stuff back out there, and that will be a really cute little seating area.
Yeah, it'll be really nice, especially when we get the little shade thing.
Yeah, I bought one of those triangle shade cloths to go over the table. So the table, well, I can show you guys the table. So this was a little bistro table I ordered, which is really cute. And then I bought this shade cloth so we can somehow hook it up. That way I can come out of the greenhouse and sit down and have a place that's shaded, because that gets so much sun for most of the day. Oh, you already started laying it.
Yeah.
Did you do that with your hand? Like hand shovel that?
No. Doug brought the tractor over and didn't have enough weight on the rear end.
Oh, well,
so he went to get some more weight on the rear end. But yeah, he dumped like 3 buckets.
Look at that. Oh, this is going to look so great. Oh, Nathan, this feels so good.
Yeah, it feels good just to get this knocked off the list,
yes.
for sure.
You guys, this seriously feels so good. I cannot even tell you. And let this just be my little words of encouragement today. If you are in that season, like I had mentioned just a couple weeks ago, feeling discouraged and feeling like you're never gonna get it all done, just remember, good things take time. Like it takes time even when I'm ready to pull the trigger, like the rock. Like Nathan was ready to pull the trigger weeks ago and we couldn't find a dump truck driver. It was too wet. There were so many things. So I had no idea when the rock was actually going to end up getting here. So this was such a pleasant surprise today when I saw the dump truck driver pulling in the driveway. But just know, to make your farm unique and your own and intricate and special, that doesn't happen overnight. To build your dream farm, it's gonna take years. And that's something that I'm trying to remind myself, is that Rome wasn't built overnight. All my farm dreams aren't gonna happen, you know, in a snap or a blink of an eye, and that's okay. But when they do happen and you've been longing for them and waiting for them, I find that they are just so much more special. Like the fact that I am just like, oh, you know, heart eyes over here over a bunch of rock seems silly. But this is something that I really wanted for the raised bed garden. I had this huge vision where, you know, putting pen to paper and working on different workshops on the farm for this summer, which I'm really excited about. And this was just kind of all part of that bigger vision, bigger picture that I had planned out in my head. And so it just feels, it feels so good. So, oh yay, so excited. Now the kids are literally just sliding down it like a bunch of goons. You see them? All right, before we end this vlog, I gotta take you guys into the high tunnel. Here behind me, we've got all those little white sprouts. That is Nigella. It happens to be one of my favorite flowers that I didn't realize was a favorite until I grew it this year. But I wanna show you guys, I will have my first garden tour coming in hot this week. And then we go and get our goats, our little goat babies later in the week too. So lots of fun content planned. But let's head in the high tunnel and check out the flowers. What are you doing?
What?
What are y'all doing?
Climbing!
You're climbing? You're so dirty.
We went on that one and then we noticed that that one is more raw, so we went to this one.
Yeah, this one isn't quite as rocky, huh?
No. It's like sand and rock.
Yeah. Alright, let's check it out. So tomorrow morning, when you guys are watching this vlog, I'll be out here harvesting all the snapdragons to take them to Bell Urban Farm. So we have been rocking and rolling in the flowers that we are delivering. They look great. We're delivering twice a week now, on Tuesdays and Fridays. Look at all of these. So once we get all of this out, you see the whole sea of snapdragons, this will be replaced with ginger. And we'll have a huge ginger harvest later in the summer. These look so good. Our tomatoes are growing like crazy, which has been real exciting. We got these fun little pincushion flowers. Aren't these fun? I think this is like Ami or Dara. And then down here is what I really wanted to show you guys. The Nigella. Look how fun these flowers are. They're just funky and so stinking cute. So these have been just a joy. They start off like this, you guys can see, and then they turn into these white little frilly spiders. Man, it is, I know it's technically spring, but it's supposed to be in the high 90s all week. We're actually supposed to have record-breaking weather this week for May. So it certainly feels like summer. My plants think it's summer. My tomatoes and peppers are growing like it's summertime. Mama's happy. Mama is so happy. I still don't have any of my heirloom tomatoes or my heirloom peppers planted out in the raised bed, but that's going to be something we're working on this week, is getting the overwintered flowers out, those beds cultivated and everything like that, and then we'll get ready to plant them. And then probably next week I'll have my cucumbers going right here, and we'll trellis them very similar to how we've trellised the tomatoes and the peppers. So I'm gonna finish watering everything in the greenhouse, and then I'm gonna swap out my farm hat for my mom hat. And Nathan is gonna be out here late spreading rock with Doug, so I'm actually gonna cook the kids dinner, get them bathed, ready for bed for school tomorrow. I am so excited for summertime, so Charlie will actually be home with me this summer. We have lots of things planned. And I know they're so cute. I know that she's excited for it. I'm excited for it. And this weather, I'm telling you, just makes me like working until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. The kids just dirty, nasty, having late dinners that just consist of like fruits and veggies from the garden. My soul is so ready for it. But I'm gonna get busy doing this and take care of my kiddos. But thanks for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you soon. Ready, set, go.
Go! Hurry, hurry!
Y'all say cheese.
You're coming this way?